I'm Paul Grimm, and I'm Sally's dad. And my wife Nancy and I, we watch your service almost every Sunday and love it. And it's kind of difficult because on one computer we've got your service, and on the other computer we got my service from our church. So we're running back and forth. But we like your church. The music's better here. So anyway, I'm.
You have to say that.
Anyway, thank you. Shackled by a heavy burden, neath the load of guilt and shame. Then the hand of Jesus touched me, and now I am no longer the same. He touched me, oh, he touched me, and oh, the joy that floods my soul. Something happened, and now I know he touched me and made me whole. Since I met this blessed Savior, since he cleansed and made me whole, I will never cease to praise him. I'll shout it while eternity rolls. He touched me, oh, he touched me, and oh, the joy that floods my soul. Something happened, and now I know he touched me and made me whole. Something happened, and now I know he touched me and made me whole. That's my dog.
I think that's a first. Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome. Welcome to this space and welcome to this place as we gather in worship. As always, it is good to be here, and certainly Creator and creation has been on our side for these gatherings in Spirit Glen. It is good this morning to take the time. And I do hope and pray that this time of gathering will be a time of nourishment for you, a time of renewal of your souls and your spirits and your very beings. And so welcome to those who have gathered in this place, and a welcome to those who are joining us through our live stream as we gather in a time of worship. You've already met Paul Grimm, and so a welcome to Paul for joining us this morning, as I've said in my notations, AKA known as Sally's dad. And as Paul noted, him and Nancy join us each Sunday from beautiful Berwick. and we're glad to welcome them this morning. And you'll hear some more of Paul's gifts of music as we gather today. You know, and I know, that music is vital to our life and to our ministry. And I'm so grateful week after week to our music team and to the members of the choir who in so many ways enrich our music through what we would call normal times during the year, and then when we were doing pre-recorded worships and live stream worships, and here as we gather in Spirit Glen. Our choir is kind of a close-knit family within the close-knit family of Pictou United Church. And as we gathered this morning, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge, because it'll be hard to at the end of worship, because he'll be offering gifts of music, that in a few weeks' time, we will be saying goodbye for now, or goodbye for at least a semester or two until he gets home, to William. As many of you know, William will be heading off to Memorial University in a few weeks' time to pursue his passion and the art of music. And William came to us from away. He brought a couple parents with him, and they quickly became part of our church family. And over the years, we have certainly appreciated all of William's gifts, the gifts of music and the gifts of musical theater, and I know many of you have appreciated gifts of fish. Me, not so much, but others have appreciated those gifts. And so we do wish you, William, all of God's blessings and all of our support. And now that we've moved into the, 21st century with live stream, we can live stream you in every Sunday. Remember, you're a half hour ahead of us, so it'll only be 11 o'clock, so you're sure to be up. So we'll figure out ways to keep connected, and certainly look forward to times when you'll be returning home. And William will be sharing gifts of music near the end of our worship this morning. So thank you. Thank you for those offering gifts of music, and thank you to each of you. It is summer 2021 at Pictou United Church, and I hope you received the handout. As I said to Diane, tell people if they say they got it last Sunday, it's a bit new this Sunday because there's an insert with some updated announcements. But the main reminder is the reminder about Tuesday night, our second Music Under the Spirit Glen Sky. Long range forecast is looking good as we welcome Spider and Nikki, who will be hosting our Music Under the Spirit Glen Sky. So here, 7:30 for, again, a wonderful time as we are enriched by gifts of music. You'll notice that next Sunday is, again, a road trip Sunday, and then we're back here on Labor Day weekend. And then, before you know it, September 12th we'll be here, and we'll be marking another New Scotland Days as we celebrate the anniversary of the arrival of the ship Hector in worship and in music and story and in all things Celtic, and that's on September 12th. There's a lot of information both in the pamphlet and, as always, on our Facebook page and website and in my Friday emails and our Thursday video announcement posting. So look at those things and find out what's going on. Last week, I messed up with birthdays. I forgot to celebrate birthdays. So I'm going to turn to you folks to tell me, is there any celebrations or any announcements that need to be shared this morning as we gather so that I don't get blamed? No birthdays? No celebrations? Well, Ruth and Sandy had an anniversary on Monday, so that's a celebration. June Cameron, even though we acknowledged it last year, had a birthday on Monday, and Patty had a birthday on Tuesday. And no upcoming birthdays or anything special? Any dentist appointments you're looking forward to? Nothing? Oh, you're looking forward to a dentist, David, too? Oh. You have an appointment on the Newfoundland Ferry the 29th. I wonder why, but good you got the appointment. So let us gather in community. And as we gather in this place of spirit, I invite us to look to our spirit guides. For they do gather us and ground us in this place. The caribou, offering to us the wisdom of survival. It is said that the spirit guide of the caribou bears gifts of courage and vision and life. And we look to the whale. Whales are associated with themes of compassion and solitude, strength and rebirth. The whale connected to both sea and sky and earth, singing the history of Mother Earth. The songs of the whales are songs of relationship. And to the eagle, sacred messenger. The eagle draws us into mystery and to life. The eagle reminds us of the oneness and sacredness, the power of creation. Our spirit guides remind us of our relationship to creature, creator, and creation. Our relationships to creature, creation, creator are holy. And as we gather and are grounded in this part of creation, we bring to mind that for thousands of years, our indigenous siblings have walked and worked upon this land. The relationship with land is at the center of their lives. We acknowledge that the indigenous peoples are the founding peoples, and that many cultures make up the fabric of our Canadian identity. In this region, we work, worship, play, and assemble on the lands which are the ancestral, cultural, and traditional, and indeed the unceded lands of the Mi'kmaq people and the Algonquin Nation. May we continue to learn to live with respect on the land. May we continue to live in relationship with all peoples and all of creation. May it be so. Meister Eckhart. I hope that name is familiar as we've drawn on his words of wisdom before. 13th century theologian, poet, mystic. Meister Eckhart once penned, "If the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, it will be enough." Thank you. So this morning as we gather, we do give thanks. And as I extend my hands, I invite you to respond, thank you.
Thank you.
For these moments, for this gathering of friends, for this time of worship, we say,
Thank you.
for the drone of the lawnmower, for gardens and shoreline and woodland, for farm market tables laden with a hodgepodge of fruits and vegetables, we say,
Thank you.
for words of comfort and gestures of encouragement, for all the thoughtful, heartfelt, kind, and sincere actions and words we offer, we say,
Thank you.
for the gifts of summer and the gifts of this day, for gifts of worship and music, for words and silence, for the gifts all around us, and for the gifts deep within us, for this and so much more, we say,
Thank you.
what do you give thanks for this day? What do you give thanks for this day? Health, family, friend. What do you give thanks for this day?
Being here.
This day. For this and so much more, we say,
Thank you.
Come on, you people.
As we gather in this place, as we're grounded in worship, I am inviting us to take the time, to take the time. Take the time to be, to truly appreciate these moments, to be enfolded by the presence of one another and the presence of the Spirit that blows like the wind around us, enfolding us, sustaining us, nourishing us. To feel that Spirit deep within, to feel that sense of oneness, that unity of all life, that mystery and majesty, that awe that draws us to say, thank you for this day, for life, for one another. There is a chant that comes out of the Sufi tradition and the Persian poet Rumi, and it goes this way. The ocean refuses no river. The open heart refuses no part of me. The open heart refuses no part of you. I am one with all that is. We are one with all. It's that Sufi chant and that expression of oneness that inspired the music writers Jim and June Strathby. And they've composed a new piece of music, blending that chant with a familiar piece that we know, Like a Rock. Like a rock, like a rock. You remember that? And so this morning, as we gather, we're going to listen to that piece of music. It is a bit lengthy, but that's okay. We have the time just to be. But it's an invitation to come home to ourselves, to come home to that sense of oneness, to come home to that sense of gratefulness, to come home to take the time to be. Our lives can be so scheduled and busy, but now we're being offered 5 minutes just to be. And so the gifts of music will draw us into that being, but if you drift off with your thoughts to some other place, that's okay. Just as you're able, return to this place and to these moments just to be, to come home to the presence of Creator, presence of all that is sacred, the presence of this time. We come home.
The ocean refuses no river, no river. 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 The ocean refuses no river.
Come home. Home to self, home to all that is deep and holy, home to this place. Lucy Maud Montgomery once pondered and wondered, I wonder what it would be like to live in a world where there was always June. Perhaps we might want to add June and July and August. For us in the northern hemisphere, summer, that season of summer is something we often long for. Our bodies ache for it. We long for the longer days. We long for the light and the warmth. It's a time of fullness, a time of fruitfulness. As spring nurtures the seeds of new life, summer gives them energy and helps them to become what those seeds are meant to be. It is said, a perfect summer day is when the sun is shining, the breeze is blowing, the birds are singing, and the lawnmower is broken. Summer, like all of our seasons, holds out many gifts to us. And I do hope and trust that each of us have experienced the gifts of summer in our own way. But I'm aware, as I look to the turning of the pages and to the calendar ahead, I begin to lament how quickly the days and weeks have passed. And I want to linger just a little bit longer. And so today we're lingering a bit, taking the time to take the time. And that gift of time is something that summer holds out to us. And that gift of time, like the many other gifts of summer, is a gift that does not leave when the pages of the calendar turn. Appreciating the gift of time is something that we should and we need to hold on to as we move into the days and weeks and months ahead and into all the seasons that lie ahead. Taking the time to take the time. A reading from Matthew's Gospel, chapter 6, from the Contemporary English Version translation of the Scriptures, beginning at verse 25. Jesus here is speaking to those who have gathered. If you decide for God, living a life of God worship, it follows that you don't fuss about what's on the table at meal times, or whether the clothes in your closet are in fashion. There is far more to your life than the food you put in your stomach, more to your outer appearance than the clothes you hang on your body. Look at the birds, free and unfettered, not tied down to a job description, careless in the care of God. And you count far more to God than birds. Has anyone, by fussing in front of the mirror, ever gotten taller by doing so, even by an inch? And all this time and money wasted on fashion, do you think it makes that much difference? Instead of looking at all the new fashions, walk out into the fields. Look at the wildflowers. They never primp or shop. But have you ever seen such color and such design? Quite like it? The 10 best dressed men and women in the country look shabby against the wildflowers. So, if God gives such attention to the appearance of the wildflowers, most of which are never seen, don't you think that God will attend to you? That God will take pride in you? That God will do the best for you? What I'm trying to do here is to get you to relax, not to be so preoccupied with getting, but rather respond to God's giving. People who do not know God and the way of God work and fuss over these things. But you know God, and you know how God works. So steep your life in the sacred. Steep your life in God, in God's reality, in God's initiative, in God's provisions. Don't worry about missing out. You will find that all of your everyday human concerns will be met by God. It was the beginning of March. And as seems to be the yearly ritual around that time in terms of news reports and blogs, the debate re-emerged. Daylight savings time. Yes or no? Daylight savings time. Why in the world? Daylight savings times. Which provinces do and which provinces don't, and which countries do and which countries don't, and why? Daylight savings time. That springing of our clocks ahead, the falling of our clocks behind. And I know that at the beginning of March, I certainly was not ready for that time change. First of all, it seems to me that if we're going to spring ahead, it should at least feel like spring. And that, if you recall, the beginning of March, it didn't quite feel like spring. And at that time, I don't think I was very appreciative of that extra hour of light in the evening, because I don't think I even noticed that extra hour of light. And I live with someone who for 3 weeks says, well, it used to be, or it is, it's not really 5 o'clock. So daylight savings time, we go through this mixture of how we move into, because it's really not 5 o'clock, it really is 4 o'clock. But that's a household debate. So in March, I wasn't appreciative of that extra hour. But once the weeks and the months progress and come June, July, and August, who doesn't love a long, lingering summer evening? Those lingering dusts of beauty and rose-colored skies. We long for those nights, those summer nights. We stay up late doing and playing until we can see no more. We're on our decks and at our patios and by firesides. And we spend time in conversation enjoying those summer nights. Our Greek ancestors had, like many things, 2 words for our one English word. We use the word time, but the Greeks would talk about time in 2 forms, chronos and kairos. 2 very different understandings of time. Chronos is that measured time, right? It's the clock time. It's where we get the word chronicle or chronology or chronometer and chronic. It's that synchronized time of armies and industry, of workplace and church bells. Chronos time is not summertime. One of the joys, one of the gifts of summer is to take the time to take the time. We should be taking off our wristwatches and putting them away and just enjoying the gift of time, whatever the chronos time might be. That gift of kairos is that gift of the moment, of time in a particular moment, of allowing time to simply unfold, to move into a day, not to move against a day, to enter the flow of time, to not spend time worrying about what time it is or what's next to do on our timely list, but to simply be in the moment. That's kairos time. It's this moment. 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 It's being in all of these moments, just for the sake of being in the moment. Kairos time is moments to be discovered. It's discovering the gift of time. As with Chronos, that's our plan time. We plan, okay, we'll meet at 11 o'clock here and we'll go do this. Kairos time is walking and saying, hey, why don't we go for a beach walk? It's enjoying the gift of time. Kairos time invites us just to simply discover what we need to discover in the moment. Those insignificant, significant things of life that we often rush past because we're on our way to Chronos time. Look at the birds of the field, Jesus teaches. No, look at the flowers of the field. See, in a moment, look at the birds of the air. That's what, maybe Jesus said it the other way, and who knows? I wasn't there. But the basic lesson in Matthew's gospel is about entering the gift of the moment. As someone who worries a lot about what's for supper, what's for breakfast, what am I going to wear, what am I going to do? The words from Jesus are for me a challenge to just be, to let go, and to be in the moment, to enter in the fullness of life, be it a minute, a second, an hour, a day. So time is a gift of summer. Long, lingering summer nights, inviting us into Kairos time, to enter into the fullness of time, and in that, the fullness of our God. As the gospel wisdom reminds us, steep your life in God's reality, in God's initiative, in God's provision. Don't worry about missing out. You will find that in God, all your everyday human concerns will be met. May we seek this day and each day to take the time, to take the time. Let us be grounded in prayer. Let us pray. Holy One, we celebrate that where people are gathered together in love, you are present, and good things happen, and life is full. We celebrate that we are immersed in your mystery, and that our lives are much more than they seem. We celebrate that we belong to each other and to a universe of great creative energies. We celebrate that our source of life and love is an energy and mystery that is greater than our very selves, and that it is rooted in you. We celebrate that your spirit of life was at work in the heart of life of Jesus of Nazareth, who shared the good news of your wisdom, who offered healing, liberation, love, peace, and justice to those who were searching and seeking meaning. In Jesus, we see your love incarnate, at work through all of life's joys and sorrows, struggles and celebration. And so it is that we pause, and it's in love and compassion that our hearts are turned to the needs of our world, to the needs of our community, to the needs of family and friends and strangers. This morning we turn our hearts to the people of Haiti, battered and worn, yet resilient and rebuilding. Our hearts turn to the people of Afghanistan, battered and worn, fear-filled and desperate, but yet resilient and seeking justice. Our hearts turn to those impacted by the many wildfires that burn across our country and across our continent. We think of people and communities, first responders who are battered and worn. We think of those who are overwhelmed and exhausted. But we give thanks for those who are responding, for the resilience of human nature, for the resilience of creation, and for all who are working to create and rebuild a future. We enfold in prayer and we lament. And in that we offer our support in whatever way we can, be it through prayers in word or prayers in action. As we bring to heart and mind, remind us that we can and that we do make a difference. That gifts such as gifts to mission and service are signs of a tangible, living faith that reach out to a world in need. May a spirit of hope and compassion, justice and peace always be present with us and incarnate through us. Aware of all the hurts and longings we carry, aware of the awe and wonder that is all around us, aware of the gifts of faith that we hold as a people and as a community, we give thanks. We give thanks for this day, for the possibilities of our lives, for the sacredness of all of our lives. In that awareness, and empowered by your Spirit, O God, may we act and speak, live and love. May it be so.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for inviting me to sing, to be part of your service today. We get a great deal of joy out of it. Of course, we're intensely proud of our daughter and the contribution she's making to the church as well. The next song I'm going to sing, it's a story of a modern day pilgrim who's gone to the Holy Land and his experience as he visits the different areas of the Holy Land. And if you get a chance, I mentioned this to Dave yesterday, and I want to thank Dave. He's such a wonderful musician, wonderful accompanist, and I just truly thank him for his beautiful, gentle touch with the music that he provides for you. Anyway, Danny Gaither sang this song. Danny was Bill Gaither's brother, and he and Gloria and Bill sang in a trio years ago. And Danny passed away of cancer. I'm going to guess it's been about a dozen years, but it could be even longer than that. But he sang this song, and it was the first time I heard it was a recording of him singing it. The first song was also written by Bill and Gloria and frequently sung by the Gaither Vocal Band. And Bill and Gloria Gaither have kind of single-handedly revived the Southern gospel music movement in the U.S. and of course watched all over the world, and they make wonderful recordings and so on. In any case, this is I Walked Today Where Jesus Walked. I walked today where Jesus walked in days of long ago. I wandered down each path he knew with reverent step and slow. Those little lanes, they have not changed. A sweet peace fills the air. I walked today where Jesus walked and felt his presence there. My pathway led through Bethlehem. Ah, memories ever sweet. The little hills of Galilee that touched his childish feet. The Mount of Olives hallowed scenes that Jesus knew before. I heard the mighty Jordan roll as in the days of yore. I knelt today where Jesus knelt, where all alone he prayed. The Garden of Gethsemane, my heart felt unafraid. I picked my heavy burden up, and with him at my side, I climbed the hill of Calvary. I climbed the hill of Calvary. I climbed the hill of Calvary, where on a cross he died. I walked today where Jesus walked and felt him close to me.
Thank you, Paul. Beautiful. We are richly blessed. Before William closes us off with gifts of music, just a few reminders. There are refreshments following worship, and we're having them down in the shade at the bottom of the garden. We were finding it was pretty hot gathering, so just a gentle walk down there. Also, you may have noticed, if you've been in the garden, that our garden not only has the gifts of flowers and trees and artwork and flowing fountains, but the gifts of vegetables that were planted. And so our Spirit Glen gardeners have little vegetable treat bags that are there for the taking. We're beginning to harvest from the garden, and The invitation is to enjoy some of the, I was going to say fruits of labor, but they're vegetables of labor that are there from our Spirit Glen gardener. So please pick up that as you gather for some refreshments. Again, a reminder, Tuesday evening here, 7:30, as musical gifts of Spider and Nikki fill this place and this space and our music under the Spirit Glen sky. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your good spirit that you bring to this place and the good spirit that you bring out into our community and our world. Rabbi Abraham Herschel reminds us, just to be is a blessing. Just to live is holy. Just to be, just to live is a blessing, is holy. Namaste. The holy in me meets the holy in you. Namaste.
May the Lord's loving kindness surround you, keep you safe as you journey on your way. May He lead you and inspire you as He grants you the gift of each new day. May He bless all your loved ones and cherish them, every friend, every stranger at your door. In the name of His Son, our Savior Christ. May God bless